The masked man entered the restroom and took off the mask, revealing Frazier's face. Frazer had grown up in a family where close combat training was compulsory. His mother wasn't an ordinary woman. Even the strongest fighter in the family had been no match for her. With such a powerful mother, it was hard for Frazer not to be strong. He didn't think much of the men he had fought that day. Their fighting skills had been unremarkable. He hadn't wanted Natalia to identify that it was him because he didn't want her to see him acting violently. He remembered that she had previously said that handsome men were much more refined and cultured than men who knew how to fight. In a civilized society, fighting, in her opinion, was unacceptable. Ryan went up to Frazer and was surprised by his young face. However, he managed to hide his realization. Frazer said, "From the looks of it, you're one of the subordinates of that Mendez guy. Why did he tie you up?" "Because I couldn't bear to see him bully innocent women," Ryan replied. "I tried to dissuade him, which didn't go down very well." "So you're a man of principle in the underworld, are you? Do you want to fight me?" Ryan knew that he was no match for Frazer. With a submissive look, he just raised his hands in surrender, backed up to the wall and said, "I'm a member of the underworld, and I've done many bad things. After I witnessed my sister being bullied, I swore that I would never do anything to harm innocent women. If you want to take revenge on me, go ahead." Frazer stared at him for a while before saying, "All right, I believe you. Do you know what I want you to do?" "No, tell me," Ryan said with a straight face. "From now on, you'll be the leader of the gang and you will answer to me. Do you have any objections?" Frazer asked while furrowing his eyebrows. "What? I'm the boss now?" Ryan said, taken aback by his sudden change in roles. If it had been someone else speaking to him like that, Ryan would have thought the person was blabbering in their sleep. However, the person in front of him gave him a sense of power and solid authority. "I guess you're saying you want me to become your man and work for you in the future?" Ryan asked to confirm. Frazer smiled again. "This guy's really smart, and he has some principles," he thought. "He's the kind of person I need." Frazer expected to meet Ben McElmore sooner or later, so he needed all the help he could get. "Yes, I want you to work for me. It's not going to be easy. If you follow me, you'll be in danger, but if you succeed, then you'll reach new heights. It's a bit of a gamble, and whether or not you have the guts to take that gamble is up to you," Frazer warned him. Droplets of sweat had formed on Ryan's forehead. He had a feeling that he was at a crossroads in his life. He had never lacked ambition, only opportunity. Since one had appeared so unexpectedly, he felt there was no reason for him not to take it. Gradually, Ryan's resolve became firmer. "I'll do it," Ryan said. With that, he stepped forward and said solemnly, "Boss, I'll do my best for you from now on." Frazer didn't have time to listen to his display of loyalty. His wife was still tied up, and there was nothing more important than saving her. After throwing the trench coat to Ryan, Frazer dialed Henry's number and told him to do two things immediately. One was to eradicate the Philly group completely. Frazer had decided that letting them go bankrupt wasn't enough. Secondly, he wanted the McKinsey Club to go bankrupt. Henry agreed to do both immediately. In order to give the impression that he was anxious, Frazer removed his mask and ran from the top floor of the clubhouse down to the lowest level. Just as he was about to run back up, he bumped into Mose, who was humming a tune as he walked into the building. Mose was in a great mood. He was thinking about being in bed with Natalia later, and his body had become energized with apparently imminent lust. When he saw Frazer, he asked, "What are you doing here? This place is very expensive, don't you know? You're such a loser, yet you dare come here to hang out with the wealthy. Whatever your reasons, You've come at a good time, 'cause I'll let you see me sleep with your wife today. I always keep my word." Frazer looked at Mose as if he were looking at a fool. Mose was oblivious to the way Frazer was looking at him. He said, "Listen, Macklemore, I'll tell you something. Your wife is currently being held captive upstairs. I sent some people out to capture her. Now, I'm gonna enjoy a delicious meal. And I doubt you've ever had a taste of its contents." Frazer didn't react, forcing Mose to say, "Do you think you can call Henry and get him to help you save your wife? Let's see if he still cares about you." Seeing that Frazer was still indifferent, he decided to call Gary to ask him to send some people down and capture Natalia's husband. He wanted to make sure that he could sleep with Frazer's wife in front of him. Mose wanted the man to see everything so that he could wash away his previous shame. However, for some reason, no one answered. "What's with that Mendez guy?" he muttered. Frazer spoke up. "If you want someone to come down and capture me, then don't bother. I'll follow you up," Frazer spoke with a cruel smile. "Feel free," said Mose. "I hope you enjoy the show. I know that I will." Still angry, Frazer took the elevator with Mose to the top floor. As the door opened, his anger soon changed to smugness when he saw the sight in front of him. Several people were lying on the floor. Some were wailing in shock or pain, but all of them were clutching injured arms or legs. Mose, who had been so confident a moment before, froze as they stared at the carnage. "What on earth happened here?" Mose thought, as he picked his way through the throng of people and found the room he was looking for. The door was wide open, and there were more fallen men inside. He stepped around them while looking for Gary, the one he had left in charge. Within a few seconds, he saw him slumped and motionless on the floor. Frazer grabbed hold of Mose's shoulder and swung him around. "What's wrong, Mose?" he asked, unable to hide a tone of satisfaction in his voice. "Where's that arrogant look on your face gone?" You, let me go," replied Mose, shaking himself free of Frazer's grip. As Mose shook himself free, Frazer noticed a movement behind him. He saw Natalia and Sheila, still tied up where he had left them. They both had panicked expressions on their faces. He rushed over to Natalia and quickly untied her. "Are you okay?" he asked her. "You scared me." "Oh, I hate you!" she screamed at him as he pulled the gag out of her mouth. As soon as her hands were free, she started to beat his chest with her fists. "What took you so long?" As her initial panic began to die, her anger changed to tears as she continued complaining. "You wouldn't believe what they did to me," she cried, sobbing as he took her in his arms. "It's okay," he said as he stroked her hair. "Everything's going to be fine." He held her close for a little while, letting her sobs die down. It was only then that he noticed Sheila, still struggling to free herself from the tied ropes. With an apologetic look, he moved to untie her. Sheila glared at him, offering him no thanks at all. As she rubbed her wrists, she grabbed hold of Natalia and put a comforting hand on her shoulder. "It's okay," she said before she rushed off through the door. "Hey, Sheila, where are you going?" shouted Natalia after her. "Slow down!" "I've fallen in love," yelled Sheila from over her shoulder. "I need to catch up with that masked man who looked like the prince of my dreams." That man in the mask and black coat seemed familiar, thought Natalia, studying Frazer. They have similar height, similar build, and similar clothes. Seeing Natalia eyeing him suspiciously, Frazer scratched his head. "What's wrong?" he asked. What was Sheila talking about? A masked man? What does she mean? "Forget it, it's nothing," she said, waving her hand dismissively toward Sheila's rapidly vanishing silhouette. I think she's talking about the man in the trench coat who saved us. She turned to look at Mose, who had turned pale in fright. She knew he was the one who had caused all this. Natalia walked up to him and looked him squarely in the eye. I could slap you, she said, clenching and unclenching her fists. It's nothing less than you deserve. She thought back to the time she had almost slept with him and realized how she had a lucky escape. Mose didn't move. As her palm connected with his cheek, the sound of the slap echoed throughout the room. He blinked in shock and put his palm up to his face, gingerly touching where her hand had hit him. His eyes narrowed. How dare you hit me? He shouted. Who do you think you are? He raised his fist to retaliate when a sharp pain in his abdomen stopped him in his tracks. As he fell down, he saw Frazier's boot had kicked him squarely in the stomach. He landed with a loud thud at Natalia's feet. The now happy lady smiled smugly as he writhed in pain, unable to speak. Frazer grabbed Natalia's hand. Come on, let's go, he said firmly as he led her out of the room. She didn't answer. Such was her newfound haste to leave with him. As Mose watched them leave, he started to squirm, his face full of hatred. You don't know what's coming. Just wait, he shouted, continuing. I'll teach you both a lesson you won't soon forget. There was no reply. They hadn't heard him. Natalia took a shower as soon as she and Frazer got home. She hadn't suffered any physical injuries, so a shower and a hug from Frazer were all she needed to recover from her trauma. I'm fine now. Don't worry, she said, looking at his worried face. Okay, but you should get some rest, he said to her gently. Tomorrow, I'll take you to dinner to celebrate your new job. He ran his hand through his hair as the magnitude of the day's events hit him. Natalia's eyes opened wide as she noticed his hand. A huge bruise had formed on the back of it. What happened to your hand? She asked. Oh, it's nothing, he said, quickly putting it behind his back in embarrassment. Mose did it. Is that so? She asked, puzzled. No need to worry about it, he said brightly. Your imagination's running away with you again. Natalia wasn't listening. Her mind was recalling the fighting skills of the man in the black coat. She shook her head, dismissing the idea that he might have been her husband. She knew it couldn't be Frazer. After all, they had been together for so long that she knew he didn't know how to fight very well. Frazer made her a strong hot coffee, and they sat silently for a few minutes. The only audible sound was her sipping from the cup. Lynn comes home from college tomorrow, she said. Can you pick her up? Sure, he said, sipping his own coffee carefully.
To watch the full episode, install the Pocket FM app